I wanted to start out just with a quick thing since we're about to start collecting our data, or some have started collecting your data, most of you actually, is let's get the control charts set up good from the beginning. Have you heard the phrase, as the twig is bent, so grows the tree? Right? It's easy to bend a twig early on, but as the twig is bent, so grows the tree. So let's start well and bend the twig of your control chart in your data page in the right direction so that the whole job is easier for you. This isn't something you're graded on. It's just something that makes life easy. So let's look at some of the examples of control charts that make life really hard. Okay. So one of those examples is horizontal data, So you're going to, in this control chart, so whole class control chart worksheet, everybody has a tab. And so you'll go in there, your name is on there. You can type in the data that you're going to be collecting, and then you can start making your table. And so you'll have a date column and the data that you're collecting. Okay, so each of you has a tab with your login information or your email, your initials essentially. And then you are encouraged to look at other people's data. Of course, it's going to be pretty boring right now, but after a while, it'll be interesting to kind of look around and see how people are, collecting their data and see what kind of data they have and see what their chart looks like and so on. So horizontal tables are things that create terrible problems with charting, and then also with me trying to keep track of your data. So let's keep our data vertical. So this is something that we should not do, this whole business down here. So don't do your horizontal tables. I mean, it may look nice, but after a while you've got, way too many columns. You can't see the data. It's better, just look at the aspect ratio. It's better to see the data going up and down, and it's easier to chart. Also, if you're collecting data like stock information, it's only available on the weekdays. So just ignore the weekends. Don't put Sunday, don't put Saturday, because that creates problems too. So just whenever you do a daily difference, do Monday minus Friday. That's the last data point. Okay. So don't do, like see there, it says Saturday close, Sunday close, and then starting again. So don't have any gaps in your table, and don't do any horizontal business like that. Okay, this is great information over here. This was the amount of time it takes this person's dog to get tired from playing fetch. So every day in their apartment, they would throw the ball, and the dog's name was Sunny Bailey. He's 3 years old, American Beagle. They lived in the living room. They did this every day at 8 o'clock, and the toy was bark item number 21, 23.99. It's like very specific information. It was great. So she put all that in her report. It was really awesome. Well, that was great. So yeah, more information is good. You don't have to be crazy with it, but be professional and be specific. Okay, so data recording tips. So this formula is wrong. So how can I tell? Well, because 475.86 minus the previous day, 475.26, is positive 0.6, and they've got a negative number. So I'm going to be checking that. You're doing daily difference. It's current day minus the previous day. And the way you say that in English is the previous day was subtracted from the current day. You're taking it away. So that's whatever you're taking away has the minus sign. You're taking away the previous day's measurement from the current day's measurement. Okay, so it's P today, the variable pressure or whatever, or this is price, minus the price yesterday. And also your variables should be one letter with subscripts. Okay, so don't put like PR for price, 2 capital letters or anything like that. So you should have a single variable, letter, and then you can use subscripts if you want. You can do T and Y. You don't have to spell out all of today or all of yesterday. You can do PT for price today, PY for price yesterday. That would be great. Just define it in the paragraph when you write your report. Okay, so this one again is a person was keeping track of the grams of sugar they ate each day, and they had comments here. And so this was good. So notes are always a good idea. And they did their daily change over here. That's kind of a bad idea. If you're going to be plotting this versus date, those columns should really be together because it makes it easier to chart. I mean, you can do it this way, but it's easier if you calculate your difference right next to the data, so right next to the date. So you might put your data here and have your notes there and do the difference right next to the date. And so that's a good way to set it up. Okay, so this is just saying put your daily difference column right next to the date column. Makes it real easy to chart, and that's a good tip. Okay. Now what do you do when you're doing daily difference? That first date doesn't have an entry, and so you can put that in your comments or whatever. It's the first day, nothing to subtract, and then you just start your differences the next day. That's a nicely formatted table. It's not overdone. It doesn't have crazy colors, lots of extra formatting. You don't have to make it look like crazy colors and super elaborate. Okay, and then here's some other data formatting mistakes. Line up the daily change with the actual day that it's on. So this is, you should do today minus yesterday, and their column, notice they had that first cell shouldn't have a number in it. Okay, so their columns are shifted up one. What they're actually doing is the price tomorrow minus the price today. That's just kind of strange because you're kind of predicting the future, and that's not going to work. So this formula is almost right, but it's off by one row. So it should be slipped down one row so that you're getting price today minus price yesterday. Okay. Now, this one is a disaster, okay, because they put text in the cell with the numbers. This won't be plottable. Like you can select that and you can go to chart, make a line chart, and it's not going to give you anything because you have text in the cell that you're trying to plot the data with. So put your units up top, say time/minutes, okay, and then just put the numbers in the cell. That way it can be plotted. Also, the date is formatted crazy. Just use this kind of date. 1/31. This was 2023. Okay, and that'll be easily understood by Excel. It looks like they might have even typed that in because notice how the capitalization, Friday's capitalized, but none of the others are, and Excel wouldn't do that. Excel's going to format it more uniformly than that. So I think these are just text fields that are typed in, and that's not going to plot either. So these are some mistakes that students have asked me questions. They're like, look at my control chart because my chart won't work. Well, because you have text in all your cells, not dates and numbers. And then skip the weekends, do Monday minus Friday, and don't even put it in your table. So you can just delete those two rows and not even include them. And certainly don't do this. This person put zeros in for the weekends, and that's, if you put a number in there, it's like you've made a measurement, and they didn't measure zero. They just put a zero in. And so look at the daily differences. The daily differences are 3, 2, 0.86, minus 1, and then 97 and minus 97. So when they did the daily difference, you're subtracting yesterday from today, and today is 0, so you get a negative 97. And then 2 days later, you get a positive 97. So their control chart, you couldn't see any variation, and then you went bam, bam, every weekend, up and down, 97 and minus 97. And so that's a problem, right? So they didn't actually measure those zeros. That would be a disaster for Amazon stock price to go from 97 to 0. So they didn't have that situation happen. It was just closed on Saturday, closed on Sunday, and then Monday came along and it was stable. Okay. So don't do that. And just don't put the weekends in your table. Now, some of you are calculating things like temperatures, and there's temperatures on weekends. So go ahead and include the weekends for those. So if you're doing daily differences in temperature, there's a bunch of people at all cities around the world that it's going to be cool to see what their temperatures do. And so just don't even include those two rows if you don't have data on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, so any questions on any of this that I've come up with so far, or the control chart exercise? Any people that have received not received a yes in the approval column that have a data idea that I haven't looked at yet? So you haven't got a yes yet. So hit me with your idea and I'll tell you a yes right now. So I didn't look at the spreadsheet this morning before class. I didn't have time. Anybody? Who? Just raise your hand if you still need to get approval, and I'll go look at it after class. Don't be bashful. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, all right. Have y'all already decided on something new? Okay, what is it? Temperature? Oh, Dallas. Okay. And what about you? What about yours?
It's still the emails daily, but including spam as well. You let them know.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I said, what about spam? Yeah, just include them all, and we'll
Yeah.
see what it does. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, y'all got approval. Start collecting your data. Okay. All right.